Today we are taking a look at Destiny 2's brand new Strand Waveframe Grenade Launcher from Iron Banner, Tusk of the Boar, and we're putting it up against the best waveframe in all of Destiny 2 history, Forbearance. Tusk of the Boar is obtained by playing Iron Banner, and not only is it the first ever Strand Waveframe, but it is the first ever waveframe in the kinetic slot. So first off, we'll be taking a look at all of the perks that this thing rolls with, then we'll be looking at the perks that I see people saying that they want, and then the perks that I think work best for you depending on your playstyle. So first off, I want to discuss the two perks that I find the weirdest on this list, mainly being Envious Assassin and Deconstruction. So people are using Deconstruction so they can spam constant shots. If you don't know what Deconstruction does, it basically, as long as you do sustained damage, it's just going to give you free ammo, which would work great if you're dealing with thousands of thralls, but this game doesn't really have that many ad-dense areas that's going to need something that powerful. And if it does, you probably are already suited for it, so you don't really need this to handle that issue. And if you just want to constantly spam shots, you would be better off just having Chain Reaction, because it would basically take out those enemies too. I know Chain Reaction is getting a nerf, but still. Next up is Envious, and if this thing's going to be your ad clear, you're not really clearing ads with anything else. The only time I understand that is if you're running an LMG, then sure, you're going to be loading up a second shot into this quite often. I also see people going for Enlightened Action, and my biggest problem with Enlightened Action is the fact that Enlightened Action gives you bonus reload speed based on your hits. It doesn't give you a multiplier, so it doesn't go past your maximum reload speed, and this thing already has great reload speed, so it feels pretty wasted. And just because I said I didn't really recommend those perks doesn't mean that they don't have their own use case. Enlightened Action giving handling is still a bonus because it gives it based on hit and you're hitting tons of enemies. If we do get to the point to where we have tons of ad dense areas, Deconstruction is going to be fantastic with something like Slice. If you do like to run LMGs and you run out of ammo, you can swap to your special and you'll have it loaded with extra shots with Envious Assassin. But I just think these next perks are significantly better. So Slice is going to sever enemies upon hit, and it doesn't work like you think it would. It doesn't work one blast and that's all those enemies hit are severed and that counts as your hits. No, it actually one shot and you can sever a bunch of targets and it doesn't consume it. I was able to shoot 3 shots in this clip that allowed me to just continuously have Slice up. Next perk I get to talk about is Slideways, and while it doesn't reset as easily as Slide Shot would with a 0.2 second timer, and it has a 2-second timer, you can quick swap to another weapon and swap back and constantly spam it. And if you do it right, you can do it in the middle of a slide, which you'll see here. Slide, I'm going to shoot, reload, swap, and it just gets rid of the 2-second cooldown. So if you slide like crazy in PvE, Slideways is for you. I think Slice is the easiest pick for me. And then in the final column we have Chain Reaction or Hatchling. You will see in the clip where I get the kill with the Slideways one that I do create a Threadling, but it seems like a single shot counts as just a single multi-kill, so you can't get multiple Threadlings from a single wave, so Hatchling doesn't really seem like a great perk, but I could be testing it improperly. And as for Chain Reaction does spread your Slice. So if you're going Slice, I think Chain Reaction is probably your best bet, just because you'll be able to kill ads and anything that doesn't die will get severed, and it works great, and it seems like it lasts for a pretty long time. Any enemy that has the little weakened icon above them is an enemy that gets affected by the sever. So now we've kind of talked about each individual role, and now let's talk about what I think you need as a player depending on how you play. And again, this is completely up to you. Maybe one of these sticks out to you even though you play differently, but just based on my testing, I think these specific perk combinations play better for specific playstyles or classes. So do as you will with this information, but there are tons of great roles with this thing, and I don't think there's any one true god role. I think it really depends on the player. So I do think that Chain Reaction is going to be your best in slot for that final column, and I think that's going to pair with Envious, Slice, or Slideways, which I think are all great perks depending on how you want to play. Slideways Chain if you're a crazy slider, Splice if you're trying to do ad control, and then Envious if you're clearing with an LMG or like to use LMGs or something else for ad clear as well as using this as ad clear. I think Deconstruction is going to go well with Envious because it just makes it to where you're going to reload those shots that you fire. At least I think it would re-overflow the mag. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't gotten to use this combination. And clearly Slice, because you're going to be firing like crazy and then severing anything that you don't kill. Because this roll will be doing less damage than Chain Reaction because it doesn't have the extra kabloomies. And finally, I think you should avoid Enlightened Action or Hatchling. Granted, if you run a Warlock Threadling build, it's fine to use Hatchling with something probably like either Envious or Slice. This is a versus video at the end of the day, but these weapons do go in 2 different slots, Forbearance being in energy and Tusk of the Boar being in the kinetic slot. At the end of the day, they're both going to have enhanceable perks in the final shape. Forbearance is getting a brand new version that's going to have Volt Shot, so it's going to have the ability to pair very well with your subclass, and Tusk of the Boar is also going to work well with your subclass being Strand, but Slice really is great on any subclass, meaning that they both have usability on any class, they both have flexibility. I think the only thing that gives Forbearance an edge is the fact that it has Ambitious and it's not using Envious like Tusk of the Boar is, and I think that Forbearance probably takes it just because of the fact that it has Ambitious, but it is a very close competition. And that's it for me. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing because I make new videos all the time and it helps me out. Comment down below if I didn't talk about the role that you particularly wanted, if there's something that I missed in my testing with the roles that I had, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be. Have a good one.